Today, I begin by acknowledging the contributions of our forefathers who have helped in creating a world based on freedom and human dignity. I extend my respect to people of diverse culture, faith, color, and gender, and pledge to work for equity, inclusivity, peace, and harmony. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Ria Singh, a first year student of DME Media School, welcome you to the fifth edition of the world's first 7-day hybrid international media conference, ICAN5, organized by institutes of two different continents. The International Media Conference, ICAN5, is being organized by DME Media School of Delhi Metropolitan Education in collaboration with School of Communication and Creative Arts, Deakin University, Melbourne, Australia. I would like to take a moment and introduce Delhi Metropolitan Education to our viewers. Delhi Metropolitan Education, DME, is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi, and approved by the Bar Council of India. DME Media School is one of the most promising media institutes in the country. It offers BA in journalism and mass communication. It is recognized as a school focused on the growth of its faculty and students through academic and co-curricular activities. The theme of ICAN5 is inclusivity, convergence, and alternative negotiations with hashtag communication for all. ICAN5 has the support of 18 partners, including the IMCR, Gen Section, and GMAC, Global Media and Education Council as the conference partners. Our knowledge partners are Makhanlal Chaturvedi University, Bhopal, Vigyan Prasad, Government of India, and KSF, Keshav Suri Foundation. Our international partners are Institute for International Journalism, Ohio University, USA, Green University, Bangladesh, and Daffodil University, Bangladesh. Cultural partner is Beacon House National University, Pakistan. Media partners are Amar Ujala, The Policy Times, Jai Hind Post, and The Hindi Post. ICAN5 is powered by Asian Media and Cultural Studies Network, Australia. Australia, India Film Practitioners and Researchers Network. SPARK, the Student Council of DME Media School, and RIM, Research and Innovation in Media, Research Cell of DME Media School. The conference is supported by NOTO, National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Since 2018, DME Media School is organizing the international conference ICAN. The themes for the former editions were ICAN 1, India and Changing Aspects of News, ICAN 2, Indian Cinema and Alternate Networks, ICAN 3, Issues of Community, Agenda and News with the hashtag Conference for Change, ICAN 4, Information, Communication and Artificial Networks with hashtag Communication Redefined. ICAN5 will witness a total of 26 sessions, including 18 live sessions, 5 hybrid sessions, and 3 physical sessions. The schedule comprises of 10 technical sessions, 3 workshops, 2 masterclasses, 2 plenary sessions, and 5 panel discussions. Proud to mention here that all technical sessions are being chaired by women scholars representing different states and countries. It gives me immense pleasure that ICAN5 will go live on the official Facebook page of DME for various sessions. For more information, follow us on our social media handles. We are sharing the links in the chat box. Today, we have gathered here for the technical session 9 on the topic Implications of OTT Content, Binge-Watching and Censorship Issues with our chairperson of the session, Dr. Florence Handique, Rabha. Now, I invite Professor Dr. Amrit Saxena, Dean DME Media School, Director DME Studios and Production, and convener of ICAN5 to give his opening remarks for the session and highlight the theme of today's technical session. Over to you, sir.
I begin today by acknowledging the contribution of our forefathers who have helped in creating a world based on freedom and human dignity. I extend my respect to people of diverse culture, faith, color, and gender, and pledge to work for equity, inclusivity, peace, and harmony. I welcome everybody in technical session 9, which is happening on the 6th day of this 7-day long conference. Many technical sessions and plenary sessions, panel discussions, workshops, master classes have happened during the course of last 6 days. And the way we started and the way we have been doing this ICAN conference, every year, obviously, we have a different theme, though our name ICAN remains the same. And we have covered a lot of aspects from news to community issues to cinema, and this time we decided to discuss inclusivity and alternative negotiations. But the core theme has remained the inclusivity, and this inclusivity we have been looking into from various aspects, be it the gender issue, be it the contents we are in, how these OTT contents or the cinema contents, they are depicting the gender, how they are depicting the women, how representative their character has been. And then we have also tried to test inclusivity in journalistic contents, in the PR industry. All such sessions have been there. And we are fortunate that there are such kind of people with us in this endeavor in India and outside, who have in a way have become part of the ICAN family, and every year they try to bring something new, something fresh for us. And we started this as an international conference, and the representation of different countries has always been encouraging. This year, that representation has further increased. And not only this, we try to expand to Pakistan and Bangladesh, and universities from both the countries joined hands with us.
Thank you, sir. I am happy to share that Journalism at DME is the official newsletter of DME Media School. This fortnightly publication covers all the major activities happening in and out of the campus. It is a student-centric newsletter carried out entirely by them under the supervision of faculty members. DME TV is the official YouTube channel of DME, where you can find playlists related to all sessions, lecture series, film festivals, and conferences. Today, we have with us Florence Handique Rabha as chair of the session and Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari, associate professor, DME Media School, as co-chair of the session. Dr. Florence Handique Rabha has been assistant professor and head of Royal School of Communications and Media in the Assam Royal Global University since 2017. She is MA in English from Punjab University, B.Ed, and has done Masters in Communication and Journalism from Guwahati University in 2012. She has nearly 30 years of teaching experience, loves her work, and follows her passion. With 17 years of work experience in the media, since 2004, she has hosted more than 400 TV talk shows on various topics in various TV channels in Guwahati and has acted in TV serials and few meaningful films. She has been a prominent TV news anchor for 10 years and a popular radio jockey for 2 years. She had authored the much appreciated coffee table book celebrating womanhood based on her TV talk shows on remarkable women from Assam, published in 2012. The book is available in all district libraries of Assam. She is the founder principal of her school, Scholars Home Public School, established in 1996 till date. She worked for NEEN Television, first private satellite TV channel of NE, DY365, and Doordarshan Northeast as a news presenter and talk show host for 17 years, and had wonderful stint as RJ for Radio Ulala and Radio Gupshup in 2007 and 2008. Her last feature film, Gangs of Northeast, was released in 2017. In 2008, her Hindi short film, Ganga, was awarded for highlighting social issues at the International Independent Video and Films Festival in New York. The film carries a strong message against women feticide. She has been recognized as a distinguished woman by the Association of Inner Wheels Club India at their East Zone meeting in 2019 for a contribution to education and media. Now I request Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari, co-chair of the session, to take the session forward. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to welcome our guest, Florence Handique Rabha. Ma'am is the head of electronic media and anchoring, and she's a very versatile person. She has experience of radio, anchoring, and other fields like we just heard her profile. So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time for this. She has been sent all the papers which we received, all the abstracts. She has reviewed those abstracts, so she has a little knowledge what you people are going to present. So straight away, without much delay, but I think I can request ma'am to say a few words, just some opening remarks, and then she can give her feedback one by one. Ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so much, Manasvi. It's such a pleasure meeting you. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ria Singh, for giving such a generous introduction. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Ambarish Saxena, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to chair this technical session on implications of OTT content, binge watching, and censorship issues. Well, I'm feeling privileged, and the theme is very relevant in this current age of digital media, because you see, because it is rapidly growing and it's generating job for our future mass communicators, and a lot of scope for researchers, as well as various business opportunities also. And viewers are spending a lot of time on OTT channels, especially the youth. So definitely it is a matter of to ponder upon. So I will not take much time. I'm really looking forward to listening to all the presenters, and we have a variety of topics, and I'm really, so let's go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, the theme of this technical session 9 is implications of OTT content, binge watching, and censorship issues. So our first presenter for the day is Twinkle Agarwal. She's a student from Amity School of Communication, Amity University. Her topic is psychosocial implications of Netflix and Prime content. Twinkle, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to present on psychosocial implications of Netflix and Prime content. So these will be the topics I'll be discussing about. So I'll start by introducing. So in today's world, the internet has taken all over the world, and with the internet, the innovative idea was the introduction of OTT platform, especially Netflix and Prime. So the demand for OTT platform gained momentum during COVID-19. The number of subscribers for Netflix and Prime content from Netflix and Prime is 4.3 to 4.5 million and 17 million subscribers respectively. Most of the population started binge watching on shows and movies to keep themselves occupied and entertained during pandemic. The main advantage of the OTT platform is that one can sit anywhere and watch it on any device available to them. The rationale of this study is to focus on the effects on the well-being of adults or youth caused by the content on OTT platform. The social interaction was restricted due to pandemic, which has increased the use of OTT platform. People prefer spending time by watching content on OTT rather than going out, which has impacted adults in numerous ways.
And if there are any perceived effects behind binge watching. So since college students binge TV shows or series using different subscription on demand platforms. So for different, they try these platforms for different purposes, for the purpose of forgetting about school stress, for social interaction, or enhancing enjoyment. So the problem here is more empirical studies need to be conducted to see if there is binge watching it really influences academic achievements or not among college students. So based on this, 4 questions are raised. So these are my first questions for this study. So how do college students conceptualize binge watching? So how do they define it, and what are the motivations behind binge watching subscription video on demand series using different platforms such as Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or other platforms, of course? Does gender affects the binge watching habits of college students, and are there any perceived effects of binge watching series? and shows on college students' academic achievement. So these were the aim and the purpose of the study. The literature review, I tried to focus on two important things: how how researchers define binge watching, and also in the theoretical framework, I tried to focus on the uses and gratification theory to understand more if there are any effects on a college student's viewing habits. So as you can see, although many researchers have investigated the phenomenon of binge watching, there isn't that we cannot see like a standardized definition of binge watching. So as you can see, pioneers such as Mary Kay define binge watching as consuming more than 2 episodes, while Netflix define it as watching 2 episodes, from 2 episodes to 6 episodes excessively. Also, other researchers define it differently. So the purpose behind this is to see how the students define binge watching themselves, because standards are different from one person to another. The second part of my the literature review is the use and gratification theory. So this use and gratification theory is based on 3 principles. Audiences look for media content to satisfy some of their needs, as I said before, in order to enjoy themselves or to forget about school stress and so on and so forth. So they are aware of these needs and can reflect on them. And media fights against other forms of communication to fulfill these needs. So since viewers are self-aware and based on the use and gratification or standards, they can maximize gratifications they gain from their consumption of media by choosing how, when, and where to consume it. So the methodology of this study, so in May 2021, a student from Liberal Arts College received notifications on different on emails and social media platforms such as Facebook. So also the survey was sent to other professors at Wisconsin University in the northeast of the United States. So students, they were aged between 18 and 25, and most of them were females with 73%, while males 25%, and 2.9% prefer not to say their names, I mean their gender. So yeah, so that was the methodology of the research. Then results indicate that, so concerning the first question, how students define binge watching. So college students frequently define binge watching as a number of episodes consumed in a single session, or the successive amounts of time spent watching TV. So the majority of students with 44.9% perceive this as watching multiple episodes of a television program in rapid succession. They didn't specify the number of episodes, say multiple is more than 2, and 17% define it as watching a series in one sitting more than 2 hours. So other people, they define it with the number of hours, while others define it as the numbers of episodes. So also 15.9% define it as watching from 2 to 5 episodes in a single sitting, and 8% define it as watching the entire season of a series in 1 or a few days. So here, as you can see, students have different definitions or conceptualizations of binge watching. Some define it with the number of hours, some define it with the number of episodes, and others define it with the number of days. Okay, so the research question number 2, which is what are the motivations behind binge watching. So results indicate that college students binge watch TV series or shows for different reasons. So some of them binge watch for feeling less lonely or to escape from reality, 33%, or to avoid doing homework or to avoid doing academic obligation. Others watch it for humorous content, or 54%, and educational content, 25%, were the important motivations for binge watching among college students at the Liberal Arts College. Also, other students binge watch to get entertained, to be entertained, and sometimes they have nothing to do. So 30.4% of students, they have nothing to do, so that's their solution is to binge watch series and shows. The next question, so I tried to combine the research question number 3 and number 4. So that does gender affect the binge watching habits of college students? And are there any possible effects beyond binge watching series on Netflix or Amazon Prime Video or other platforms? So the results indicate that there is no significant correlation between variable except between student gender and the type of activities, and they prefer streaming. And there was no significant correlation between student gender, number of hours, and the number of episodes they spend binge watching. Also, and there was no correlation between students who usually spend more than 10 hours binging series and being academically distracted. So, and also results show that the most college students, females 34% and males 15.5% spend more than 10 hours on their academic coursework. So to conclude, so since binge watching has become popular among college students as subscription video on services such as Netflix or Amazon Prime Video continue to grow. So the purpose of this study was to investigate how college students conceptualize binge watching and if they were academically distracted by binge watching. So after, as I said, after collecting data from 100 students from a liberal arts college in the northeast of the United States, and the results were analyzed using the statistical data analysis (SPSS), results showed that students had different perceptions of binge watching and various motives, and that pushed them to consume TV content simultaneously. Results also showed that binge watching has no effect on college students' academic achievements. So this is due to many reasons. Maybe the university I worked, where I conducted my study, contains very good students because the acceptance rate is very low at that university. So maybe that's the reason. And so I was actually surprised by this result, and I was trying to figure out if they are really distracted, but results prove the opposite. So I'm actually surprised by this result. Even students binge watch series and spend more time on Netflix or Prime or Amazon Prime Video or other platforms binge watching their favorite series, it didn't really affect your academic achievements. So yeah, so I still have more samples to get done. Students in Morocco and students in India, and see if we have similar results or no. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for this giving me the chance to present conference.
Thank you so much. And I think we are also amazed by your findings. So they are surprising. Florence, ma'am, your questions.
Yeah, but thank you, Yasin, for your presentation. Well, it was visually rich, and as Dr. Manasvi said, yes, I am also a little bit surprised that your studies, that your conclusion showed that students do not perceive binge watching as affecting their academic performance, right? Yeah. So did you try to find out that why they do not find why it does not affect their academic achievement? Because they do it does consume a lot of time, right? They spend a lot of time watching all the kind of episodes in one sitting, entire web series. So did you try to find out how do they manage and what is the reason behind their good or maybe academic achievement?
Yeah, not really, but I guess because of every students at that university, they spend more time binge watching their series on such platforms, but they also spend more time at the library. So whenever you like last year, whenever I go to the library, I find students, all of them studying. So they spend more time on studying and also more time on binge watching. So maybe they try to balance between
Good. Now,
study time.
okay. Yasin. Now, do you think only taking students' response can explain academic achievement? Don't you think academic responses should be taken, from the teachers also, because they are the ones who give marks, and teachers, how do they feel when they, kind of check their answer sheets or mark sheets, their work, right, results? Don't you think it is important to take teachers' responses too?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, an added value to this research. So I actually didn't think of that. So maybe, yeah. So maybe in the coming research, I will take the teacher's consideration to account.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. It was good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So next is Anjali. We'll take Anjali Kulal. That's her paper is on popularity of psychological crime thriller genre in OTT era. Anjali from DME Media School. She's a student of bachelor's. Yes, Anjali.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anjali, and I am presenting my research. And my topic is perception and impact of audience towards psychological crime thriller in OTT era. Web series are more engaging than the movies. That's why the people love to watch web series in spare time for intense. Uh, every second person sitting in metro watches web series. Nowadays, people prefer more into the crime and thriller genre. Technology has changed the way people grab content and prefer to watch thrilling and crime stories rather than reading them from books. In addition to the growing popularity of internet delivered OTT service, business have begun producing more innovative stories in resulting in specific habit of viewing audience known as being watched. Since the web series popularity is rising in India among youth, it is a serious concern about the impact of the web series and web content on the mind of audience. This study is to investigate the impact of web series and web movies on the audience, particularly the youth of India, which has seen a great growth in the field of web series and web movies consumption in recent years. In youth, there is a new disorder called internet addiction disorder. Nowadays, Indian youth, young people only watch Netflix, Prime, Hotstar, and YouTube. They are unconcerned with their job, studies, and family and friends. Other major element influencing the rise in demand of OTT platforms among the viewers are the mobility of gadgets on which these platforms are available, the availability of on-demand content, the power of choice. People become interested in being watched that they neglected to complete their everyday tasks such as studying or fulfilling professional obligations. Anxiety, loss of sleep, and a desire to be alone are just a few of these issues that being watched and experiencing. In the sake of presenting the actual world authentically, violence, crude language, and sex are magnified in these web series, while mortality is frequently compromised, resulting in a negative impact on the audience mind. Research also point out that the web series with good content have a positive benefits on the audience psychologically, but those regressive material have negative effect on the audience psychologically. When when the grooming age youth are more focused on the web series, it indicates that they are learning a lot of web series. In reality, the majority of the youngsters are psychologically impacted by the web series according to the study. The web series are influencing not only just conducted towards the aggression, but also their language, which is most significant aspect of any culture. Data collection and analysis. Many new trends are being detected in the world of Indian OTT platforms in terms of concept development. Women-centralized stories development is prioritized with female character portrait in the more dignified, progressive, and realistic manner than the television shows like the Testas, Leela, Marzia, Arya, and others. And these are the questionnaires that people responded. And I have total of 14 questions with 51 respond. My main motive is to show that the people really affected by the web series content, and people like, does the content of the web series or whatever you watch on the OTT leaves an effect on your mind? And 37% people says yes. And do you try to follow and memorize your lifestyle pattern or character that showed on the web series? Yeah, 38% people agree on this, that they relate their life or with the character. And 51% people says that they spend like whole night watching web series, like basically in crime thriller genre. And the conclusion is that today electronic media is one of the most prominent wing of the mass media, and the mass media as an essential part of the public sphere may play an important role in bringing attention to various important issues in our society. After concluding this research and considering what other researchers have said, it can be said that web series have a profound impact on audience psychologically, as they impact empathize to the character and even follow their mannerisms. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You can switch, stop sharing. And I think we have same observation again, that you should have taken viewpoint of psychiatrists, psychologists to understand the, effect of social media content. Florence, ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Anjali Kulal, for your presentation. I appreciate your effort. But yeah, I think you can add some recommendations in the conclusion, because watching, more and more of these crime thrillers will definitely have I feel, a negative effect on the mindset of, the people in the society. So how it is contributing to our society, we need to find out that too. So that is all. And thank you. Good presentation.
Thank you, Anjali. So we have next presentation from by Nupur Gupta. She is from Amity School of Communication, a master's student. Nupur, can you switch on, Nupur Gupta? Can you switch on your camera? Does she has access? She's facing some network issues. I think she'll not be able to switch on her camera maybe. Nupur, Netflix shows and viewers' perception. That's her topic. You have two devices connected. Please connect from either one device, or just switch off the speaker and mic of second device. Yes.
Audible now?
No, yes.
Yeah.
Will you be able to share screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it visible?
It is visible. Please start.
So, hi everyone. My presentation is on consumer perception and effects of Netflix on daily life. As we know that Netflix started during early stages in the early era, but now it has developed a lot. People are not going to movies or cinemas as much as traditional media used to play important role in our life. Now they think that everything will come on Netflix or different platforms that will help them to, actually Netflix and chill at home with the family. So there's a supreme Netflix resigns supreme when it comes to developing original content. I believe that it plays a negative negative role in everybody's life. But let's see how it goes. The objective of the study was what are the benefits and the drawbacks of Netflix and as a brand on its consumers. There were benefits on consumers, but when I did survey and talked to one-on-one with people or on WhatsApp, I got to know that there are multiple negative benefits as well, because they are watching Netflix continuously for hours, sitting at one place, which is not good for mental health as well as the physical health. And as the psychological people says that it impacts your negative mental health also in one way or another. But I was shocked to see people actually know that it is somewhere negative. It is somewhere negative in people's life, but still consumer prefers Netflix more than Amazon Prime or Hotstar or any other platform, specifically in India I'm talking about. What motivates people to binge watch Netflix for hours? I believe that to get out from their daily hustle life, or they get zoned out when they watch real content on Netflix, as per as they can also get related to the content as well somewhere. The literature review was what is the Netflix effect. Then it is the new phenomenon that Netflix came out with, and it is on their even website, that it changes the advertising, the brand, the fashion, and as well as consumers behavior and purchasing behavior. There were positive effects in the society, that people actually sit with their family, gather around and have a good time by watching the shows. It has the positive environment around their lives. Negative was that they forget about the time and continuously sit and watch the shows, which impact their negative mind also. I believe we have five fingers and they are not similar, right? So as well as people, we are not similar. In my home, I don't have same mindset than my parents or my cousins. So Netflix shows also behave the same way. For me, sometimes it's positive, but I don't expect the same thing to be positive for to be in another person's mind. Consumer gets motivated. I believe that Netflix plays an important role in it, because we have no option to stop it. It says next episode and running automatically. It jumps to next episode, which is a great marketing for Netflix as well, because it does not give any option for us to stop. So because of it, we continuously start watching it again and again. Netflix also produces its original content, no, unless like Disney, Hotstar, or anyone else. So customer gets attention, or it attracts people to its negative content as well. Because in COVID, we saw many Netflix episodes or original on their websites. Why people binge watch Netflix? Because they take off their time and escapes from your daily life. If as a working person I like to binge watch Netflix, because it helps me to escape from my daily stress life. Regulate emotions, the series of entertaining reason, because it has many series which helps people to be entertained, and somewhere it is an addictive habit as well. The negative impacts were, these were the actually my database that I did survey, and this is what I came this is what I got. So the students were dropping their grades, and because they were the concentration problem, their attention was basically what will happen in the next series, or what will happen in the next episode. Gain weight, people used to sit at one place and eat food and binge watch, so there was no physical activity happening around. People actually get zoned out while watching Netflix series. Personally, I also, in COVID, I also zoned out by watching them. And the decrease of attention, because our mind varies in the different places, so the attention towards one place or the work gets decreases. I used both primary and the secondary data. I used survey of 100 people, and yet connected with them on WhatsApp or different platforms, one-on-one communication on Google platform or any other platform. And as well, Netflix is a very broad research area. So I was lucky enough to dig into articles, essays, and I conducted poll as well. As per the data analytics, the 98% they were the 98% of the students, basically teenagers, who used to watch Netflix more than 16 or mm, 16 hours in a week, which is really harmful. People still prefer Netflix as their platform, and it takes the crown because it's Netflix, and because of the changing original series as well. uh, People used to binge watch Netflix. 35.9% of the respondents want to get rid of their stress from their daily lives, and 51% of the respondents Netflix, it impacts the negative well-being on the people. And 35.1% of the respondents believe that they spend basically daily, they use they should stop it by setting a timer or seeing their what they can do on the daily basis, and then can watch one show as the reward. Conclusion was that these binge watchers from all the walk of life includes regular households and the different workplace. However, looking into bright side, they can watch their favorite shows and uninterrupted by saving money for the families on the apps as well as on the different mobile devices. But I feel that there should be a good balance between a work life and Netflix, because um, at the end, it varies our mental health and deal with different issues, and people get connected with TV series attached very quickly, and there is a psychological mental differentiation between it. Limitations, it was a geographical limitation. It was in within India as well, and I connected with couple of my friends who lives in abroad, but they had the similar thinking as the Indian mindset. Age, I tried to get response from older people, as because my grandpa also is on Netflix now, so I can get it why older people are also getting on Netflix more, but youngsters were more influenced by Netflix. And because of the changing dynamics of the industry, I can only analyze with a specific time period of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nupur. I see a lot of problems from the angle of research, design, sampling, a lot of questions I have in mind, but I think Florence ma'am, you can start and share. You are on mute, ma'am.
Thank you, Nupur Gupta, for your presentation. Well, actually, it was not clear. You said age groups, right? Somewhere you said students, and then people, and then you also mentioned my grandparents. So you didn't specify which age groups actually you are targeting.
I'm targeting teenagers from 15 to people from 35 maximum working age.
Okay, but that's quite a kind of big range. So did you try to find out a correlation between, between watching different shows in Netflix by different age groups, and its effect on people or viewers of different age groups? Because a youngster may get influenced more, than a person of your grandfather's age. Did you try to find that?
Actually,
You can
yeah,
add that.
youngsters get more affected by it, and they have negative impact as well, because everybody has a different mindset according to the age of the maturity level. But I feel youngsters get more influenced by it because they don't have that much developed mind, and they feel like, okay, this is good to watch. They don't think that it is +5 or +20 or adult range. So that's why I feel Netflix has to somewhere clarify things between youngsters and people.
Yeah. So how do you justify your sample size?
Basically, I feel youngsters only, because those were
You're a bit confused, I think. But anyways, thank you for your clarification. We can, I think, move ahead.
Yes, the only thing I want to add on here, there's a lot of bias in your study, which I can see, because you are mentioning in the presentation also, in your, in the content also, what you feel. So first of all, this you should understand that in a research, you have no role to play, as in your feeling, what whatever your thing is, that is something you have to keep aside when it comes to research, and you have to talk only about the data which you have collected. And that data collection has to be really strong enough to share your findings and things. So anyway, thank you so much. Good attempt.
Thank you.
So we have next presentation from Momita Didas. She's an assistant professor, Department of Journalism and Communications, School of Media and on an empirical study on how COVID-19 surged CSAM in India. Ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes.
So my paper is on different kind of watching. This generally we don't talk about in the popular format. But the 19 we don't talk about at this conference about inclusivity, and also a section of child sexual abuse material, that is CSAM, an empirical study on how COVID-19 has surged CSAM in India, and the topic, that is COVID-19 has rocked the entire India and the world, and we know that how it has been oblivion, the aspect of yeah.
Can you please do it slideshow?
Yeah.
On slideshow mode? It's not in slideshow mode. We can't see it properly. We can see the presentation, but not in the slideshow. So if you can just do.
Just try one second.
Yes. In the slideshow, you'll have a bigger view.
Yeah, but
can you just go to view? Can you just go to view, or maybe on the top left corner?
Okay, yeah, view I can see.
And on the left side also you have
view.
Left corner, top corner left.
This one.
The fourth icon with the play button there.
Okay, okay, I got it. Yeah. Is it fine now? Yeah, is it fine?
Yes.
Okay. So this is all about, COVID-19 has rocked the entire world, we know that. And especially the child sexual abuse material, the pornography website Pornhub cited from a report that terms like child porn, sexy child, and these other terms has recurrent searches in worldwide in recent times. India has recorded over 480 million internet users, and users would be by 2023. So the danger lies with the fact that Internet and Mobile Association of India's IAMAI, Digital India, they had to report that, especially during the COVID-19, we have seen the age group of 5 to 11 with the school, lockdown and everything coming online, they have the access to Internet. So the danger lies with the fact that the migration of child sexual offenders online was much more during the COVID times. So according to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Facebook registered about 16.8 million reports in child abuse imagery. So the paper will look into the reasons behind this spike. Especially it will analyze the cyber tactics which the government is also doing by detecting the offenders, and the insight on the recommendations of what should be done in the path ahead, and to make the social media intermediaries for this. The new Indian IT law to curb this menace recommended by the Rajya Sabha ad hoc committee. Fact of the easiest where there are 4 essentials. One is diversion, that is escape from the root routine emotional release. Number 2 is personal relationship companionship. Especially the offenders, generally they are not in a position to analyze the ill effects of it, and they are in the routine format they have been doing the offenders. So the kind of theory, we can't say that this is the framework, but the uses and gratification theory is the most cited one in this theoretical framework that I've chosen. This is mostly the case study method. And here I would like to refer one thing, because I had, contractual of editorial consultancy with International Justice Mission, where they work with the trafficking of the, minor girls in Kolkata. And I have talked to the special experts regarding this paper and also beyond it, where they have how they have mapped the offenders. I have also referred to some of the case studies, and how it is difficult for the policy makers and also the people who are detecting, like police officers. I've also quoted one of the police officers who was there. So how difficult it is to decipher the cases, and even if they get deciphered, they are not being convicted, because there's a kind of a mindset to have stigmatized, because if child, that's a kind of social psychological impact they have along with them, and also the family and the society. So this is more of case study method and also the recommendation that ahead. So there's some literature review that I have mentioned, like Interpol report is there, child sexual abuse material, Indian report is also there, end-to-end encrypted child sexual abuse material is also there. Report of the ad hoc committee of the Rajya Sabha, which has been made primarily during this COVID times to curb on this kind of material on different social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Telegram, and everything. So this is what some of the findings are. Since 2019, the demand for child pornography was 5 million per month in 100 cities on the public web. Mind you, this is for only in India. I'm not talking about the global. Global is much more. So that would very revealing kind. People are more into generic CSAP content, and it comprised 90% of male user base. So that means if 90% is male user, 10% remains, that's the female, and all the third gender is also there. So what's the geography of demand? Bhubaneswar and Chennai accounted for the most kind of child pornography content. Kolkata, Siliguri, Howrah, Chandigarh, Guwahati is also into there in that higher range. CSAM in high demand in north in New Delhi. Then there's Lucknow, Chandigarh, Agra, Shimla. Central India, it's Indore is there. In west, in Mumbai, Thane, Pune, Ahmedabad. In the east, Imphal, Guwahati, Kolkata, Howrah, Shillong. In south, Kochi, Bangalore, Thiruvananthapuram. So this is the kind of geographical findings that has come up. So I would just quickly go through one or two case studies. In April 2020, the Kerala police collected IP addresses of more than 150 persons who were involved in CSAM transmission over Telegram. Meanwhile, a special cell has been created in Cyberdome, Kerala, to bust CSAM trade through encrypted apps such as Telegram. So I have also been in contact with the police officer who was actually there in the Cyberdome, and how they have deciphered this kind of, So there's a case as a part of this covert drive, around 477 such locations were identified, and a covert operation named P Hunt underscore 21.1 was planned on 6 June and hugely effective. The teams could seize at least 429 devices in 370 cases. This modus operandi over WhatsApp and Telegram and other groups has been widely, during pandemic. Due to the police action through P Hunt drive, the accused now use specialized software to evade detection. So they also underway formatting their phone every 3 days. To activate the webcams, they use malware and steal information of children. Even there are few cases of online live sex sessions involving children available on payment over restricted links. So there are some of the groups which have been mentioned, like Manthanga Girl, Thana Setha. These are some of the groups which were deciphered. Then there's another case in 2020, CBI registered a case against 30-year-old man in Mumbai for allegedly exploiting children aged 10 onwards and selling their images for rupees 250, as low as 250 over Telegram. And these children are based out of several foreign countries, Europe, South Asia. So this is one. Case study 3 is in November 2020, the biggest ever child abuse scandal in UP. The prime accused was abused for 12 years, 70 children victims between 5 to 16. The CBI arrested Ram Bhavan Singh for allegedly, exploiting 70 children, majority of them are boys. And he's one of the junior engineer in the government department. And Singh was arrested under POCSO. This is the most protection of children from sexual offences act. This is the act which we have. And investigators found that 8.27 lakh in cash, 10 mobile phones, 2 laptops, 6 pen drives, 6 memory cards, and 1 digital video cam and spy cam and sex toys all were there. There's another case study. I'm not getting into it. I'm just saying that social media as a medium. In June 2021, the Children's Rights Commission had earlier summoned report that multiple connections to child porn and dark web are available. On the other hand, stated in its response that Twitter India has no influence over content on the platform. However, Twitter Inc. controls 99% of Twitter on Twitter. So the Twitter has come up, and Indian government has made it sure that Twitter should be responsible what kind of content is going over their platform. So the end-to-end encrypted the child sexual abuse material report by Peace Foundation, they say that, however, the extensive number of reports say WhatsApp and Telegram to be the most favored platforms due to its security. So CSAM proliferation on such popular messaging platforms cannot be underrated. That's what the kind of this is one kind of overview that we have. Like one is 2020 reports on cyber tripling increased by 28% during lockdown and all. And see the video file, the numbers, it's mind-blowing numbers that you have. And it's very pathetic situation that we have this kind of content that we don't, highly explicit. So international support to Indian government, there has been a boost to India's fight against CSAM, and the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, US-based, that works to prevent child exploitation, started sharing tip, during this COVID and all, pornography in India with Indian agencies. After the agreement between the two countries, India also had last year to widen the scope of child pornography to go beyond this. Indian Express had reported in January this year that stating 25,000 cases of child pornography registered. So at least the cases are being registered and was termed as Operation Blackface. So this is I would rather say a hope where people are coming, forward and filing the cases. Then there are reporting gaps are there, which I have already mentioned, that stigma is there.
I request you to wind up in another minute.
This is my last
minute.
So identification of new CSAM, identifying grooming and other preparatory activities. Without a clear strategy, we need a clear strategy. In simple terms, it means that there is no liability of who is uploading and what should be done. And the recommendations like awareness drive is very important. School should be identified, and parental guidance is also important. Adapt key tools where even the police officer should be, should know the techniques to nab these criminals. This is some of the technique what should be, and just come to the road ahead. As far as the other social media giants are concerned, Facebook and Twitter have confirmed that they aim to comply with the provisions of IT rules. India has come up with this new IT rules where WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Telegram shall enable the identification of the first originator of the information. So that's the Indian government is doing a great job regarding this. And they have made it clear that the international social media giants should be comply with this kind of method. With the words of the police officer who was part of Cyberdome, he said that child security is the responsible of every member of the society. He's Manoj Abraham, IPS officer, Cyberdome Trivandrum. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You picked up a very relevant topic and a very different study. Florence, ma'am?
Yeah, thank you, Momita, for your presentation. And it's always actually very shocking and painful, to know these facts. And I'm very glad that you chose it. And media educators need to spread awareness, and you're doing good job. I just want to know something, your views kind of, do you think government should improve the cyber tactics, or is it good enough for a country like India?
Yeah, very relevant question, ma'am. That's where the recommendations come. That when I was talking to these people who actually nab the criminals, they say that the most challenging part is even if we decipher, like we track the entire tracking system, the cyber dome that Kerala government has come up with. It's a unique kind, and in entire India, where they have special officers trained. Especially the IT tools, because these criminals, I can give you some more case studies where they are so smart. You have to be smarter than the criminals to nab these criminals. And the first and foremost is the conviction, whether these people, they are generally repeated offenders. So, ma'am, here comes the government agencies, even the agencies who nab these criminals, and also the society to have a look, like we generally, the parents who come up, the kind of shocking, we all have our children, we are very they are very vulnerable if these kind of things happen, and they are all the time on internet, either on the laptop, either on their mobile phones. Parents and teachers in every aspect, they should be aware that what they are doing. Though I won't say that at no smoking, but yes, to keep nav on your children is also responsibility on our part. And Indian government is doing, I think, with the IT rules last year, what they have into an encryption where people are saying their right to privacy is under threat. But I would rather say to curb CSAM material, we need to have these kind of rules and regulations where Twitter and Facebook, which are international giants, they should be responsible what kind of content they are uploading, or they have the access to, with the kind of children they have access to internet. So that's the point, ma'am. So,
thank you. I think ma'am got disconnected. She'll be rejoining, but you did a very good paper. I personally like the topic, and I think that's the, we all researchers who are here in scholarship.
Oh, this is not the right kind of, like, it's not OTT binge watching, but the kind of content, the numbers you can see, it's the kind of binge watching that actually has aggravated during this lockdown and this thing, So I thought that this would be very pertinent to discuss on this popular format where students are also there. They can have some idea that to think on this line.
And this message is for all the scholars that they should pick those topics which are socially relevant. And you try to bring on those points on table which really need a lot of discussion and deliberation. So normally students who are now, because most of the students here are from bachelors and masters, and they are doing research on OTT a lot. And they are also, fond of social media content. So they should understand that what kind of different topics can be covered when it comes to the research. So it's not only about your implications, it's not only about the content, bold content, but it's also about there are different ways by which you can understand the effect of social media on different in different lives. So yes, thank you so much. Next presentation we'll do with Shivani Verma. Shivani, can you just give me a quick check?
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Shivani, and my topic is effect of Bollywood cinema on the lifestyle change. So, we already, I just want to start with the introduction. So we already know that the role of cinema has been recognized from the very beginning in the society, and with the evolution of Bollywood cinema industry, it has also created an impact on the people, and it's continuing to do so. This paper mainly focuses on the effect of Bollywood cinema on how it affects the Indian culture and how lifestyle of the people is evolving, and how it has transformed in respect of their education, thought process, lifestyle, gender representation, food, clothes, and everything. Thank you, ma'am. Next. So the objective of my paper is to know the impact of Bollywood cinema on the lifestyle of people, and especially how it has affected and influenced the youth, and also to know how people in society is affected by it, whether the impact is positive or negative. So the literature review is according to the content, as said, that impact on population of country and influence on the youth, and adding to the evolution of the lifestyle of the people and contribution to the betterment, whether it's on to the betterment of the society or it's causing negative influence in the society. So cinema from the very beginning is considered as the visual representation of the society, and whether it not only it is not only entertaining people, it is entertaining in a greater to the greater audience in a greater part, but it's not only entertaining people, but it also keeping every aspect of our culture alive through the music, dance, showing stories in the and in the in aspect of literature or poem. So it is also creating awareness among to the masses who are not much into reading every day or watching or in their schools. Influence, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. As youngsters is considered as the larger audience of the cinema, and also to understand the impact of cinema on the youth, the impact is both positive and negative. There has been many films that has come up educating the younger mind, adding up to their values, moral values, gender equality, and motivated them and bring the improved and positive. So we can talk that impact of Bollywood cinema on the lifestyle and betterment of the society. Like it has been talking about social issues. Like most of the time through the stories, it tries to focus on social issues and most of the time political and educational issues as well. And it has been seen that from last 20 years that it is very much promoting this to have in some changes in the society and influence in the society. Some of the examples are there has been changing with regards to the institution of marriage, changing in living patterns such as living relationship, shifting from joint families to nuclear families, changing in cultural practices and education as well, and also portrayal of women in the society, which earlier was very different and now it has been changing. So my methodology is based on both primary source and qualitative source and quantitative source. For qualitative source, articles has been I have read few articles and went through the interviews of various directors also, and how people, various reviews of how people or adult people have opinion about Bollywood cinema. And also I went through a questionnaire. I've had questionnaires and surveys through which I came up with my methodology. And my conclusion is that every coin has two sides. Same goes with Bollywood. The effect of Bollywood has been both positive and negative. If we see from the positive side, Bollywood cinema, in particular Bollywood, is it's considered as the great way of storytelling, and if it's in a positive way, it will affect the lot of mind in a positive manner. But if it is if we see it in a negative way, it will harm us. But I feel the impact is mostly positive, at it's entertaining and also spreading information to the people. um, so limitations was geographical limitations, that a different part of the country doesn't watch Bollywood movies. Like from south, people doesn't watch much of Bollywood movies. Same goes to northeast side. People don't give they do watch Bollywood movies, but they don't have much influence of Bollywood movies. So no, very less in thing was gathered from that side. And age was also a limitation, that I could not gather information from all the age group. Like mostly my survey was restricted to the age group of the people 40 only. And response biasness is also the limitation, because most of the time people gave the neutral answers. They were neither completely inclined towards the question or apart from the question. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shivani. I think you have picked up a right topic, but it's a very vast topic. So when you
Yes.
talk about influence of Hindi films or cinema, so you have to be very specific. Whenever you are doing the research, it has to be very specific, which particular film you are talking about, which era you are talking about, and effect in terms of, you said lifestyle. Again, lifestyle is a very broader term. When it comes to research, all the researchers should make note of this, that it has to be very specific, very, very categorical. What effect? Social effect, psychological effect, what kind of effect, and what age group again. So this is what one observation I have, and I think again a lot of bias from your side. I feel, I think, because meko lagta hai. This is not the way research is being done, but good attempt. Florence, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Shivani, for
Yes,
your
ma'am.
presentation. Why did you choose this topic? Like, kind of, what do you understand by Bollywood cinema? Are you including Malayalam, Bengali, and all Indian films, or Hollywood and Bollywood? What do you understand by
Ma'am,
Bollywood?
I'm trying to portray from Bollywood side only the basic
Bollywood
Bollywood.
means you mean Hindi cinema, right?
Hindi,
So
Bollywood,
that
Hindi
term,
cinema.
so
Yeah,
that
ma'am.
term I think will will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
better. You can, instead of Bollywood as a term
Okay, ma'am.
in research.
No, ma'am. Actually,
That is
Hindi cinema can include other aspect also, like regional movies as well. So that's why I've tried to pick up Bollywood.
But
So,
have you been watching other films other than Hindi films?
like
Do a research on it.
not regional, but in documentary form, whatever it was, I was able to go through on YouTube. So that I watched.
Okay, and you said you interviewed directors. Which directors?
No, I don't interview directors. I saw the interviews on the YouTube and social media of various directors. What is their opinion when they portray or certain characters or certain stories based on these social issues? That's why.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shivani. So we have last presentation. Pradiksha. Are you there, Pradiksha? Is Pradiksha co-host? Can you just, technical team, can you just make her co-host? I think she has rejoined and she's not co-host. Pradiksha, now you'll be able to open your mic and camera.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon,
Yes.
ma'am.
Please switch on your camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So Pradiksha, her topic is Indian web series and their effect on youth. So this is she's from Amity School of Communication, Amity University. Pradiksha, you can start sharing your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second. I'm sharing. Ma'am, are you able to see?
Yes, we are able to just do full slideshow.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So, ma'am, my topic is Indian web series and their effects on Indian youth, which is specifically mentioned. We are in a 21st century, and we are a habit of using internet a lot nowadays. After the Geo has launched their SIM, we are addicted to actually using the daily data or the Wi-Fi we use. So we are living in the age of internet, and with the passage of time, the internet is involved in our life completely. People use the internet not only for communication, but also for entertainment purpose. Similarly, the web series playing over internet has the potential to generate both positive and negative effects. And many studies have looked at its impact on society, particularly on youth. So my objectives were to evaluate the behavioral change
by youth, or OTT among the youth, and to unleash the factors contributed to increase the trends in Indian web. And my literature review consists of the web series and the behavioral change of the youth and the health issues they get, like anxiety, depression, after seeing that, or they get into a drug use and academic performance, like they use, like they watch the web series like 24 hours a day and they didn't even sleep because of the curiosity, like what will happen next in the next video or the series or the show. My research methodology was of both types, primary and secondary. Nature of the research was the studies are descriptive, and in the present study, a survey was conducted to collect the most relevant statistics according to the nature of the study. A questionnaire was formed due to its descriptive nature. Survey design research. Target population was my youth of the Delhi NCR, and tools of the research was questionnaire. So my data analysis, like my question was that, like what affects you to watch the web series, like you can see frequency in percentage, friendly acts, extroverted, in this the ferocity, friendly acts were the most, and other explanations were less, and extravagant existence were also less. So in my next question, like, do you think that web series shows are changing the perception of youth? Strongly agree was 47%. Like they even thought that we are changing the OTT platforms are changing the perception of youth, how they see, how they feel, and how to act. And next question was, how many hours do you watch the web series? So 3 to 5 hours were the most, as you can see in the percentage. But if I can talk about my friend circle, even I have seen my friends watching the web series whole day and even the whole night. Even they get so curious, even they like if we plan something, so they do skip that too. So my next question was, do you think that web series have psychological effects on youth? Strongly agree was 42% and strongly agree was 24% and neutral was 20 and disagree was 14. But I will strongly agree with this point. Yes, psychological effects on youth have made them. And next, do you think that web series spread negativity like smoking, alcohol, drinking, and intimate scenes? Strongly agree was 35, agree was 51%. Yes, I would too agree with that, because people actually, because of the OTT series, they see that the teenagers, or in the, as you can see, the Hollywood series, they tend to use these things a lot, like drug abuse and alcohol and smoking. They use it as a normal thing, but us Indians also get, negative impact with that. So do you think that the web series shows create hype and insecurity in lives? Strongly agree was 47%. And my findings were that the respondents agreed that web series and online video content have direct or indirect psychological impact on them. They also feel insecurities in their life as well. The respondents agreed to have watched any specific web series or online content just because of sex scenes, intimacy, or abusive language used in the content, where close to half of them were somewhat agreed that they found it effects on their spoken language. Of this example, I will take the Mirzapur. As you can think, Mirzapur has a hype in the Indian society, and because of that, people use abusive languages a lot. And my next findings are, a good percentage agreed that watching web series and online video content have affected their academic performance as well. As as the youth see the OTT or the series whole day, so so when will they study? If they see the whole night, and when will they sleep, and when will their mind will work? Okay, so and my conclusion was, to summarize, web series programs contribute more damage than benefits. Web series programs may lead to aggressive behavior and violent behavior as society becomes immune to violence, and they tend to imitate what is shown online. Even though aggressive and violent behaviors are contributed to other web series channels, it is the main source which will lead to this behavior. This is because they spend most of their time watching online compared to the others. They can easily imitate violent behavior due to the blurred images of good and evil, which have been created by such programs. Briefly, web series do affect the attitude of youth today, as it enhances negative social development amongst youth, which may lead to aggressive or violent behavior, and they tend to affect self-development and self-esteem as well. And my limitations were geographical limitations, as I only does this research in India, but in India to a limited region like Delhi NCR, and limited respondents, as I could only send my questionnaire to my friends or their friends, so my responses were limited. Thank you.
Okay, can you just go through your scan through your this presentation again, because ma'am missed few slides, she got disconnected. Just
okay. Yes.
Beginning.
From starting, yes.
Yes, she missed few slides, so she can just see.
Okay, ma'am, this was the introduction part where I introduce a little bit. Now the objectives I've made, and then the literature review on which issues I've literature review of others, and my research methodology like primary and secondary I've used questionnaire as my instrument. Data analysis in this I will tell you in a short. Mostly agreed that their behavior has been changed because of the OTT platforms, and they are getting into a drug abuse, drugging, alcoholing, and smoking, and intimacy scene. They are getting psychologically affected by the OTT platforms, and they are getting negatively impacted in their academic performance as well. And this was all there are more questions, but the main I could find that I put in my slideshow, and these were my findings. That mostly people have agreed that the OTT platform have changed their lifestyle and their increase in the insecurities in their life, as they could not concentrate in their studies. And this was my conclusion. And conclusion says that the youth of the India has been negatively affected by the OTT platforms. And my limitations were geographical limitation, like I only sent to my questionnaire to the Delhi NCR, and in that only my friends and their friends only, and limited respondents were there.
Okay, you can stop sharing your screen. First of all, I want to tell you that because you stated in the starting only that your study is restricted to Delhi NCR, so it's not your limitation. You did your study on the sample from
Delhi
that area, so that's not part of your limitation because you picked up. We can always do a study. हम नोएडा में study कर सकते हैं, गुड़गांव में study कर सकते हैं, एक छोटे से area में भी हम study कर सकते हैं. So उसमें आपको there's no limitation as such. So Florence ma'am, your
Yeah, thank you, Pradiksha, for your presentation. It was visually rich. What do you actually mean by peer pressure? You mentioned that, right, in your abstract also.
Okay. So, ma'am, peer pressure is basically when we live in a society, we have a friend circle. So, ma'am, they tell us like this series is good. Like in my friend circle, there are Korean students, Korean web series are in the hype right now. So they even tell me to watch that, but I couldn't even pressurize me to watch that. So that was like peer pressure in that way.
Yes, we can move ahead.
Thank you. So we are done with all 7 presentations for this session. Florence ma'am, if you can just conclude a few things, and so that researchers can learn from your views, whatever your observations have been.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Manasvi. Well, I'm very happy. Most of the presenters were good. I'm happy that you all shared your thoughts and views with us, your work with us, and of course, the quality. You shared your thoughts about the quality of the content available on OTT platforms these days, and what are its implications on the youth and the viewers. And also, I was looking forward to the papers on censorship also, but I think they could not join today, and so I think there's a lot of scope in this field for researchers in future. At times I've seen that there's too much of information and you are somewhere lost sometimes, so just stick to the objectives and findings, make it brief because it's a presentation and we have limited time, and secondly, the way you communicate. because you're telling a story, right? So we have an audience here. Everybody is watching you. Some of you, not all, need to, kind of work on it. Your presentation style, the way you are communicating. That's it. Otherwise, all the, presentations were interesting and insightful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Ambarish Saxena and Dr. Bala is here now. I had a great time, and thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like Ambarish sir to say a few words what you were saying in the starting, because you got disconnected, and then we'll move to Bala ma'am for concluding remarks. So you were saying few things which we just lost. Yes.
I think, initially I was saying something else, but obviously once I've gone through all these 7 presentations revolving around OTT, and I can understand, I can relate to whatever was presented, because I'm also fond of watching OTT web series. And to the extent that I try to watch anything that is coming on OTT, any web series, despite all my busy schedule, at least 1 to 1 hours or maybe 2 hours are fixed, maybe at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. So the content, obviously, lot has been said, lot can be said on the OTT content. And I'm also a binge watcher. So, but then whatever can be said about the content, I enjoy thoroughly, because the way the OTT contents have changed, there is a complete departure from what we used to see on films, on this feature films. So that's a completely new experience. New subjects are coming in, which were unthought of on films. So a new kind of treatment, new approaches, fresh faces, new actors. So there's a lot of scope for those who are into the trade, because we are into media education. So if we look from that perspective, from the making point of view, from the production point of view, then obviously the world has opened to young actors, young writers, young producers, young directors. So that's one good thing. And then from the viewing experience wise, it's completely a new experience. The only thing which is said about censorship, as Florence was saying, this that that kind of thing has not been covered by anybody. But then I personally, I'm always against any kind of censorship. So for me, if there is no censorship, nothing can be better than that. There are countries where there are no censorship, no regulations. Obviously, if there are certain things which are violating the law of the land or which are violating the constitution, but separately, there is no need of having any censorship, any restriction, because again, I firmly believe any restriction is in fact hinders creativity. Creativity has to be completely in an open atmosphere wherein anybody is free to think, free to watch without any restrictions, without any intervention from the state. So I don't believe in also those kind of things, which are, as a researcher, obviously you can study all such aspects. But then for me, all these things do not matter. The important thing is how beautifully you portray, how beautifully you narrate a story, which is very well received. In a lot of foreign OTT, foreign web series that I watched, some series are so slow, so uninteresting. So I always stop watching after 2 or 3 episodes. But then there are some series you cannot stop watching and you will finish it in a day or two. So it all depends as to how, as a filmmaker, you are making a story which is acceptable, which is interesting. So that is what I can say on this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I hand over back to Ria, who can call upon Dr. Shrishmita Bala. Ria, over to you.
Thank you all for such an insightful session. Now I invite Professor Dr. Susmita Bala, Head PME Media School, Delhi Metropolitan Education and Chief Associate Convener, ICAN5 to give the concluding remarks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you for Florence. OTT platforms are generating bold content, violence, nudity, abusive language are some of the common characteristics of OTT content. The platforms are popular among youth and definitely have psychological impact on the audience. It is good to see that scholars are presenting papers which are matter of concern for many of us. Twinkle spoke about OTT platforms and its implications and effect on audience. A very interesting study by Yasmin. Really interesting finality of psychological crime thriller genre in OTT era, Anjali Kulal. I would like to congratulate Anjali Kulal as an undergraduate student. She has done a good job. Your questionnaire was really comprehensive. Momita Das is a regular presenter. She has highlighted important issues and projected case studies. The findings were really thought-provoking. Pradiksha, Nupur, Shivani, I'm sure you have taken notes of what experts have said, and in your future research paper, you can improvise your work. OTT is a sea full of issues that can be picked for research. You all should keep doing good work. So thank you, presenters, and thank you, Florence, for this session. Thank you, and thanks to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ria, I'll take a minute to announce the best paper presenter of technical session 8. So this technical session was conducted in the morning, and the chairperson was Dr. Ruhi Lal. Winner is for Best Paper Award, Pramod Kumar Pandey, on the topic Assessing Community Perceptions Regarding Role of Faith-Based NGOs in Societal Transformation. Congratulations to Pramod Kumar Pandey. He's a faculty at DME Media School. So, Ria, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we have come to the conclusion of the 9th technical session. My foremost and heartfelt thanks to the session expert to share the valuable insights on the topic, implications of OTT content, binge watching and censorship issues. Sincere thanks to management of DME, Aman Sahani, Vice Chairman, Justice Bhavar Singh, Director General, DME, Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami, Director DME, for their support in every endeavor being taken by DME Media School. Heartfelt thanks to Dean Media School Professor Dr. M.B. Saxena, Head Media School Professor Dr. Susmita Bala for their motivation in planning, executing and organizing the flagship event of Media School. Thank you to Dr. Manasvi Maheshwari, Associate Professor and Associate Convener of ICAN5 for overall production for the International Media Conference. Thanks to Sumantra Sarthidas and Vishal Sahai, Assistant Professors, and Yogesh Sharma, faculty at the Media School for media and production support for ICAN5. Thanks to Dr. Manmeet Kaur, Associate Professor and Academic Coordinator of DME Media School, and Pramod Kumar Pandey, Assistant Professor, for their support in supporting ICAN5. Thanks to Shruti V.S., Assistant Professor, Media School. She has supported ICAN5 as the convener for cultural team and student coordination support. Mohammed Kamil and Sukriti Arora, Assistant Professors for newsletters, press briefings, and media coordination support. Dr. Ritika Saxena, Assistant Professor for designing and creative support. Samya Parvez and Dr. Sumita for their support in the proper execution of social media handles during the various sessions of ICAN5. I also thank Pavan Saxena, Anmol Mehta, Tulika Arora, CM Anand, Abhishek Yadav, Jagan for administrative and logistic support. Student convener Priya Yadav for her consistent support in ICAN5. All student coordinators from newsletter, production, hospitality, anchoring, cultural, and digital operations for their coordination and consistent efforts for the conference.